Welcome to Your Healthy Kitchen from YRMC.
Hello, welcome to Your Healthy Kitchen. I'm your host, Rita Carey Rubin. I'm here today with my friends and co-workers, Andrea Klein and Kim Friend. Andrea, Kim, and I form the Diabetes Education Team at the YRMC Pendleton Wellness Center in Prescott and Prescott Valley. Andrea, you're the director of the Preventive Medicine and Wellness Program services at YRMC. Please tell us a little bit about your job.
Well, the Preventive Medicine and Wellness Department at Yavapai Regional Medical Center has a number of small departments in it that do really important work. We have the adult fitness centers, which are fitness programs that members can join. We do cardiac rehab, inpatient and outpatient, and we also have the diabetes support services, which is education for patients that have diabetes. Prevention and wellness are really important parts of YRMC mission, and in fact one of the things that we worked on this year is a department promise. Every department in the hospital has a promise to our community, and I just would like to share that with you. So for preventive medicine and wellness, our promise is that we are caring professionals moving you toward better health by promoting physical activity and health education.
And I know we do a great job over there at that. Kim, your primary focus is education. So what do you teach?
Well, I teach diabetes self-management training classes at YRMC in Prescott and also at the Dell Webb Center in Prescott Valley. Individual consults for insulin training and any other diabetes management training, as well as insulin pump training, and all three of us do insulin pump training.
That's right. And I, as you know, am the dietitian in the group, and I work with people individually and in classes on creating lasting diet and lifestyle changes for long-term health and good blood sugar control. And Andrea and Kim and I have participated in the Whipstone Farm Community Supported Agriculture Program, or a CSA, for many years. And Andrea, would you help me describe for our viewers what a CSA is?
Well, community-supported agriculture is something that you buy a share. So you buy a share for a season, and how that works is the season typically lasts as a growing season. So in our community, that's from about May to October. And so you sign up for your share, and then every week, once the CSA opens, you go to a collection point, and you pick up your vegetables for the week. And every week it can be different. It depends on what the farmer's growing. It depends on the taste of the other members in the group, and so you get a huge variety of vegetables and some that you've never tried and learned to love.
Yeah, and it's just a load of fun, and it's really a win-win situation. CSA program helps pay small farmers in advance for their farm operations, and members reap the rewards and sometimes the risks of the harvest. And Whipstone Farm is located in Paulden, and over the years, I've seen their farm and their CSA membership grow and have really enjoyed using their beautiful nutrient-packed produce in more meals than I can count. Kim, tell us a little bit about the beautiful produce that we've seen and how we sometimes collaborate on figuring out ways to use it.
Well, it's always an exciting thing to go to pick up our share. Andrea and I actually share a share. And the produce that we receive is farm fresh. It's anything from any type of greens that you can imagine, with arugula, kale, cabbage, peppers, chilies. Sometimes they even give us roasted chilies, to different types of fruits and melons, tomatoes, carrots, just everything. Potatoes,
Anything you can imagine and more.
Yeah,
Right.
And it really is, it's just so much fun each week, waiting, it's like Christmas.
It is like Christmas.
Waiting
What
to
are we
see what
getting?
we get, and sometimes you have to be a little creative because we get some vegetables that are unfamiliar, and that's part of the fun.
I always put them in stir fry if I don't know
Lots
what
of
they
stir
are.
fry. There you go.
The other nice thing
Yeah.
about Whipstone is they're very supportive. They have a great website which has resources and recipes that if you're not sure what to do with, you can usually find something very easily.
Right, 50 ways of preparing kohlrabi.
Right.
So one year, Andrea shared her incredibly simple and delicious recipe for bow ties and cabbage with us. And Kim, I know you and I have both made this a staple in our kitchens with some variations. But Andrea, I know this is a family recipe, so tell us a little bit about how you do it.
Well, as you said, that we like to trade recipes, and one day one of you asked me, what did I do with my cabbage that I picked up this week? And I said I made bow ties and cabbage, and you asked me what that was. And that's a recipe that I grew up with, that my mom made for our family. And it turns out it actually comes from my dad's family in northeastern Pennsylvania. One of his cousins, they're of Polish descent, and they would make bow ties and cabbage. And when I first moved to Prescott and got married, my husband, I decided to make my husband bow ties and cabbage. And he said, "What's that about?" He said, "That sounds like peasant food." And at first I was taken aback, but thinking about it, it probably was a simple meal that folks that just had a garden and had some pasta could put together.
Sure.
So it's a really easy, tasty, and the thing is, getting the cabbage and the vegetables from the CSA even makes it that much better.
Sure.
Just than the store-bought.
And very economical, like you
Yes.
said. Yeah, so show us how it's done.
Okay, so like I said, it's just a cabbage. You can cut off as much as you want or as little as you want and use this for other meals. So I took for this preparation, we took about half a head of cabbage, and then we just chop it up. It's very easy to do we've already pre-started, but just a fry pan, or I actually at home use a wok. And what you do is I melt a little butter and then olive oil, and that keeps it makes it a little bit healthier than just using all butter. I already sauteed some onions, and I just chopped up a regular onion. You can use sweet onions, just brown onions, probably even red onions if you wanted to, just whatever you get in your share that week. Chop up the cabbage, again in slices, and then make them pretty much bite-sized. Melt the butter and the olive oil together, and then I sauteed the onions, and then I added the cabbage. One thing that some people will do is actually steam the cabbage a little bit first to make it softer, and let that water cook off, and then melt everything and start cooking it together. In the meantime, you're making some pasta, which we'll show you in a little bit too.
So you could leave the cabbage a little crunchy or al dente, or
Yes.
you could cook it down and make it nice and soft.
Right. So our basic family recipe then is that you just have the cabbage with a little onion, and then bow tie pasta, which we'll add in a few minutes. You just cook the pasta according to package directions. And if you can't find bow ties, what's really nice, it's adaptable to any kind of pasta, and typically egg noodles is my fallback if I don't get bow ties. Then when we serve it, I actually add a little bit of Parmesan cheese to the recipe. So let me add a little bit of pasta in there.
And so it can be really kind of a two-pot meal. Cook the pasta in one
Yes.
pot, saute the cabbage.
Right, and I often have the big pasta pot is my pretty big, and I mix it in that, or I'll use a wok to make it a little bit easier to stir fry. And then I said when I serve it, a little salt and pepper, and then you can sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on top.
Yum.
Now my parents still eat it plain, and when they visit, they don't even want the Parmesan cheese. But it's open to a lot of interpretation on how you can make this recipe.
And Kim, tell us about your variation. I know you do things a little differently.
Well, I do. Andrea started me off with this, and it is very good. But I have two hardy boys or I still have them, but they're not at home anymore. They're grown. But I usually take ground turkey because we don't eat the beef, so I use ground turkey. And what I would normally do is to take, when I'm stir frying or when I'm sauteing the onions, I'll add some red pepper because I always like color. So whatever I've got in from our CSA, whether it's the red, yellow, orange peppers, I'll add just to add color. And then I'll ground the ground turkey. You could also probably use ground beef. I use a little garlic and then the ground turkey. We're not going to add that at this point.
So you would cook that turkey in a separate
Yes,
separate
I'll
pan?
cook that separately and then add them together all at the very end. And I like to see what I've got left from my CSA. So I might add some of the greens with arugula or spinach. We'll just add a little bit of that in there too. And again,
it's beautiful.
The more
Yeah,
color we
look at
can
the color.
add, the better.
Your
I
dad
think.
should see this.
I know.
And my family also likes things a little spicier. And so I usually add a little bit of ground pepper.
Crushed red pepper.
So we're going to do that as well.
Sure, spice it up.
Sure.
And it just really depends on your taste. Now I also add not only just the Parmesan, or I like the Romano as well. So I'd add a little bit of that too. So I add a lot of. But see how much nicer it looks with all that color.
I'm gonna have
like
to
a lot
change
of
my
color.
recipe. And it's just over medium heat. Yeah, it's just real easy.
Lovely. And I do my own version as well, and I like to add actually some sun-dried tomatoes. And I might, because these are a little crunchy, so I might add that early in the cooking process so they soften up a bit. And also, like Kim, I like to add greens, whatever I have. Arugula goes really well, or spinach, or kale, or chard. Or if I don't have greens, what I'll do is I'll just tear up some leaves of basil and throw that in too for a nice green color. So yeah, the smell's really good. Yes. So Cabbage and Bow Ties is a wonderful example of what I call a non-recipe, just some basic ingredients prepared in a simple manner that you can dress up or dress down as you like. And I hope you enjoy this at home as we do, and create your own version if you'd like to, but just don't tell Andrea's dad. So Andrea and Kim, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks
Thank
for
you for
having
having
us.
us.
It's always
wonderful.
it's a pleasure. YRMC Pendleton Wellness Center West is located in Prescott, and YRMC Pendleton Wellness Center East is in Prescott Valley. So give them a call for more information. Their numbers are on your screen, or you can go to yrmc.org. As always, you can find delicious recipes and information from all our shows at yrmc.org. Just click on Health Connect. And until next time, Andrea and Kim and I will be eating a few bow ties, and we'll see you soon in your healthy kitchen.